Good morning, everyone. Chris Profi, Musically Obsessed. Yesterday, I did a video talking about Voivod, and I talked about 3 of their albums that came out in a row that were amazing. And I wanted to do that today for Dwight Yoakam. Recently, I did a top 10 of Dwight Yoakam songs, but I want to talk about 3 albums that came out in succession that were amazing. A creative peak for Dwight Yoakam. And hopefully if you guys dig Dwight Yoakam, you'll dig this video. Okay, so the first album I want to talk about is the album that came out in 1990 called If There Was a Way. Now, Dwight had some amazing albums before this. Buenas Noches from a Lonely Room, Hillbilly Deluxe, Guitars Cadillacs. But this was the album where I think he really solidified his sound. It's country, it's rockabilly, it's Buck Owens Bakersfield sound, it's honky tonk, it's nasal vocals. It's just the best of traditional country and rockabilly and sort of that new 90s revival sound. This album is amazing from top to bottom. Definitely a favorite of mine. Some songs I love. The Heart That You Own. Nothing's Changed Here. Sad, Sad Music, which is a great traditional country song. Since I Started Drinking Again brings in a bluegrass flavor. I love Turn It On, Turn It Up, Turn Me Loose. I think I actually put that at number 1 in my top 10. It just is one of those songs that you feel that you're in a honky tonk with like sawdust on the floor and you're drinking a Schlitz. It's just one of those songs. It Only Hurts When I Cry was a single off this album. Amazing. Send a Message to My Heart. He does a duet with Patty Loveless on that. This also includes 2 bonus tracks, Dangerous Man and Let's Work Together, and those are both amazing too. Now, I want to talk about the producer on these albums, Pete Anderson. He knew Dwight Yoakam. He knew his sound. He was the guitarist for the Dwight Yoakam band. He knew how to get the best out of Dwight Yoakam. All of these albums I'm going to show you today were produced by Pete Anderson. He's a lot of the reason why these albums sound amazing. Of course, Dwight singing and playing guitar and writing a lot of the music, but we have to give some love to Pete Anderson as well. He helped to develop the Dwight Yoakam sound. So this was the first album, 1990, If There Was a Way. And then the next album, in 1993, he came out with This Time. This was a huge album for him. His popularity just kept growing with each album. This spawned so many hits. 1,000 Miles from Nowhere. Ain't That Lonely Yet. Try Not to Look So Pretty. Fast as You. I believe that those were all the singles off of this album, and they were all over the radio. Okay? Dwight Yoakam continued to, reinvent his sound. He had definitely the rockabilly on here. He definitely had that Buck Owens Bakersfield sound, but there was more of like a rock and roll vibe to this album, and it just came out at the right time. So many hit singles off of this album. Okay, now where do you go from there? Because this, I really feel, was probably the peak of Dwight Yoakam's popularity with this album. Like I said, you had 4 or 5 hit singles off of this album. This was the peak. Just dropped the CD. Then, in 1995, he came out with Gone, which is probably one of my favorite albums by him. Here's a ticket. I saw Dwight live. Here's the t-shirt. This album, and when I was talking about Voivod, the third in the trilogy was Angel Rat. This is similar to what happened with Voivod. Dwight Yoakam hit, jeez, I'm dropping CDs. Dwight Yoakam hit a creative peak with this album, a commercial success. This album was not as commercially successful, but it's still an amazing album. I think this album is sometimes forgotten about, and it's actually amazing. You've got songs like Sorry You Asked, Near You, which sounds like it could have been a Beatles song. Gone, I believe that was a single off of this album. This Much I Know, which is in my top 10, that song is such a tearjerker country song. Listen to the fiddle in that song. Baby Why Not has a big-time Bakersfield sound on it. So, I wanted to talk about the song Nothing, and I believe that was a single off this album too. That has a huge Elvis vibe to it, and I'm talking like later Elvis. So this is another great album. It sort of gets forgotten. 1995, produced by Pete Anderson. I think it's as good as This Time. This has even more of, I feel like this album has more of like a soulful sound, a more R&B vibe to it. Definitely you get the country, definitely you get the Bakersfield, definitely you get the nasal vocals, but then you bring in a little bit of soul, a little R&B, especially with the song Nothing. Listen to that. It's definitely that R&B vibe, a late Elvis vibe to that. Really, really good stuff. So again, I'm going to do this with other artists as well, but the idea here is that our favorite singers, our favorite songwriters, our favorite artists, a lot of times have 3 or 4 albums that come out in a row that are just creatively amazing. And you can just tell that they were in the zone. And then I said yesterday, like, looking at these 3 albums, it's almost like the albums before were developmental, and then the albums that followed were copying the style, or maybe not even as good. So yesterday I concentrated on Voivod. Today I talked about Dwight Yoakam. I will definitely be talking about other artists, and I want to talk about their 3 or 4 album, string of success type albums. So let me know what you guys think. If you're not subscribed to my channel, definitely please subscribe. Hopefully you like this video. Hopefully you like Dwight Yoakam. If you only know like a little bit about Dwight Yoakam, I would definitely check out. Yeah, if somebody asked me, okay, Chris, which album should I start off with Dwight Yoakam? Well, I'm gonna give you 2. If you want a real country sounding album, I definitely would go with If There Was a Way. If you want something just a little bit more with a rock vibe to it, This Time. But you can't go wrong with either of these albums. And again, if you like either of these, definitely move into Gone. Okay, so enjoy the rest of your day. It looks beautiful outside. Nice clear skies, and perfect day for getting out for a walk. Put your earbuds in, listen to some music, and then when you get back, put a CD on, put something on the turntable, just enjoy your day. All right, guys, listen to music.